Welcome to this edition of the Bust Them In podcast. We're thankful that you've joined us today. Bust Them In is a ministry of Woodlawn Baptist Church, supported by churches and individuals across the country to help churches get in the bus ministry. Along with that, we've been able to help many young people, bus kids and bus workers, with college scholarships. And then the third aspect of the vision for Bust Them In is to be able to provide some insight, instruction, testimonies around the bus ministry to be a help to you as you're considering entering the bus ministry or are already in the bus ministry. Today's guest I have with us is Zach Campbell. Zach Campbell is a member of our church, Woodlawn Baptist Church, along with his family, and is the founder of Known Campus Ministries, and we are honored to be the sending church for Known Campus Ministries. And I asked Zach to come on board and talk to us a little bit about college ministries. And you might say, well, how does college ministries coincide with a bus ministry? Again, as I've said through all of these podcasts, the bus ministry is about people. And Known Campus Ministries is about reaching a segment of the population that desperately need to hear the gospel. And so I'll jump right in. Zach, thank you for joining us. And I just want to begin by asking you to share a little bit about your testimony and how you got involved with Known Campus Ministries, and just give us a little bit of that insight for those that are listening today.
My name is Zach Campbell, founder of Known Campus Ministries. Started about 2 years ago, just slowly moving along in college while I was in college. Going back for my testimony, I actually grew up on the mission field in the Philippines. From the age of 2 to 13, I lived in the Philippines. Around the age of 13, my mom began to get really sick. And from that point, she had to come back to the United States to get her health taken care of. She ended up having 10 tumors in her body and stage 4 lymphoma. During that time, it was pretty hard on the family, but God is good through the trial, and God blessed our family and has had my mom's cancer free for many years now. So it's crazy to see how God works through circumstances. And I also look back in my life and like, why did God do this? And I think it's kind of to bring my family here, but also to bring me to this point. My dream growing up was to play college football. And I always loved football, wanted to be around it, but growing up in the Philippines, there's not football around there. So I got to play football when we came back to the United States from age 13 to 18. I ended up getting several college scholarships to several schools, and I ended up going to St. Francis University and Loretto, Pennsylvania, middle Pennsylvania area. I never knew what God wanted me to do. I didn't have a specific calling on my life at that time. I knew I wanted to live for God. I just didn't know one aspect. And going to play football and all these different things, I was very uncertain about my future. First couple years, just played football, kind of just focused on that. And I always remember this story about my junior year of college. We're Division I football team, Division I school, so we have a lot of student athletes, and all the student athletes had to go to this one speaker. And this one speaker began to talk, and there's probably 500 to 600 student athletes in this room, and talked, and then finally got to this question. He said, if any of you have thought about committing suicide, please stand up. And in my mind, growing up in a sheltered home, being in a Christian family, I didn't really think of how big a problem this was. And I remember seeing dozen after dozens of students standing, talk about how they thought about suicide. And I began to think in my mind, like, these are the students that have all the popularity, they have all the fame on campus, they have alcohol, the relationships, they have all the partying, they have it all at their fingertips, but there's something missing in their life. And that's when God really began to work in my heart. And eventually throughout college, God began to kind of show me what he wanted me to do with my life. He called me to preach, called me to be into this ministry of reaching college students. I never thought going into college that I would be able to lead Bible studies on campuses, have outreaches where over 250 students came out and many people got saved, or had the opportunity to sit in my head coach's office and talk to him about Bible study and different things about his relationship with God. So God really did a lot in that time, but I think he did all this and brought me to this point. Kind of, I didn't go the Bible college route, but I went to this area. He showed me a lot. He showed me that, hey, there's a big, big need on these college campuses, and the door's wide open, but not many people are going through this door. And that's when God really challenged me into this ministry about my senior year. And that's when I began to, that's my testimony of kind of how this ministry started.
Man. So share with us, and I know that I've asked you on several occasions at our church and some of the conferences that we've had. I think the statistics around suicide and depression on college campuses, and how many students are on college campuses, to just give us an idea about how big this mission field is across our country.
Oh, definitely. Sometimes we think about our colleges and universities, and we forget to realize how many students that we have in the United States. Over 19.9 million students that attend universities and colleges in our country. But not even just that, there's over 1 million international students that come to the United States to get their education. And to me, that's crazy, because it's not just a home mission field. This is a worldwide mission field. You can reach one student that goes back to their home country, and they could reach their families, and revival could really spark from there. But you never know who you might reach. And some of the statistics we look at and kind of the need for our campus ministries is there's over 4,300 colleges and universities in the United States. And the majority of them don't have really good, strong Bible-believing organizations on campuses or Bible studies being held on campus. And I think that's why it leads to a lot of these statistics. So some of the statistics I bring up a lot. 1 in 12 college students have planned out their committing suicide, have made plans to commit suicide. Just think about that. They didn't just think about it. They made their plans. They had something set up to where they could commit suicide. 1 in 12. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students. 1 in 5 say they have had thoughts of suicide. And these are people that are supposed to be living their best life. They're young, they're starting their careers, they're getting ready, they're supposed to be having a good time. But there's something missing. And I always talk about how the devil's a great marketer, but he sells a worthless product.
Yeah.
And he's selling these kids all this, hey, live for yourself, live the party life, do all these different things, but it doesn't satisfy. And they're looking for something. I think of there's over 1,000 college students that commit suicide each year. And going into just kind of the international side, 62 world leaders have come to the United States to get their education. That's crazy. Imagine just reaching one of those leaders and the impact it could have on this world. 188 billionaires have graduated from the University of Harvard. And I just think about just reaching one of those people, how the impact it could have on this world. But I also think of this statistic: 90% of international students are unreached by ministries when they come to the United States. This is just ministries in general, not just even Bible believing ministries or a good solid Bible preaching ministries. This is just all over. So just think about the 1 million international students that come here. They never even have someone to reach out to them.
Yeah.
The field is wide open, and you never know who you could reach. I think about one of my friends in college. He was a student from China. I didn't really talk to him that much. I mean, we had a couple classes here and there, but I'd say hi occasionally, and we just small talk here and there. And one time he ended up transferring schools, and he came up to me and said, "Thank you for being my friend. You're one of the nicest people that I've met on campus." And in my mind, I'm like, and I asked him, I was like, or in my mind, I was like, what did I do to you? All I did was say, "Hi, how you doing?" Or just ask him small talk. And it's because someone reached out to him, the impact it had on his life. Just me saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Just imagine us reaching these kids with the gospel. And I think the field is so open, and so there's so many kids that are hurting, struggling. International kids don't have friends in the United States. They don't have family. They don't have places they feel they belong to. If you get them plugged into a good church, that can really impact someone's life.
I think, if you take those statistics that you shared with us, and, roughly 20 million college students on college campuses, if 1 out of 12 have not only thought about suicide, but planned it out, that means 1 million 1.6 million students, if my numbers are right, roughly, have planned their suicide. Just think about that if you're listening today. And just think about how important this mission field is. These aren't young people that have health problems. These are people that have their whole life ahead of them, that are getting their education for the future, and they're struggling for hope. They're dealing with discouragement and depression. And we know that the gospel gives hope, a peace that passeth all understanding. And I can't think of a more vital ministry that our country desperately needs than the bus ministry and college campus ministries. I've said it often, sharing the statistics around the bus ministry, that 85% of the members in our church, when you do a survey, 85% have been saved between the ages of 4 and 15. Couple that with the fact that 50 million children, school-age children, have never been in a Bible-believing church. That brings us to college campuses, young people growing up without God, growing up without the gospel, a foundation for biblical morality. And then they head to college where they have no background, no foundation. And even those that do, we all know that many secular college campuses are bastions for progressive thought and anti-God sentiment. And it's important for us to get involved and reach into our college campuses. So, Zach, give us a little insight on if a pastor's watching today. We recognize the harvest is there, but what do you do about it? How can you get involved? And I know we don't have all the time to really get into the details, but generally just talk to us about how we get involved. How can I reach as a pastor, a local college? How can I begin to be a part of that?
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of what my ministry is here for, kind of to help local independent Baptist churches get connected to their colleges, universities. Often we think of colleges and universities as you can't take the Bible there, Christians aren't welcome, and it's kind of like a wall there. But in most cases, you're welcome, and you just have to do things the right way. And that's what my ministry is here for, to kind of help direct in that aspect. I want to touch on this one thing real quick before we kind of get into this question. But we look at our colleges and the next generation coming up, and we have the political world now, and you have crazy people coming up in the political world, and we kind of get mad about that. Just imagine if we'd reach those people while they're in college, if we reach those people that are going to be our future presidents, going to be our future senators. And I just think college ministries is so vital in the direction of our country and the direction of this nation. How can you get involved? Well, so my ministry, basically what we do is we help connect local independent Baptist churches to their college campus. We help them start on-campus Bible studies, outreach events, and we help them become an organization on campus. We're also trying to help pastors get connected to be chaplains for sports teams on those college campuses, whether it's a football team or baseball, different things where a pastor can be someone that the team goes to and that the pastor will be connected. And that's just another great opportunity. But kind of how do we do this? So we start by just kind of trying to reach some students. We do some outreach stuff on campus, pass out flyers, maybe set up a table on campus, and just do a couple promotions, get a couple names, and we try to start a Bible study from there. When we start a Bible study, we want to grow that, and people get saved. We can start small discipleship classes. And from that point, we try to do like a weekly activity Thursday or Friday night where we come together on campus, and we have sing some songs, play some games, have a preaching, and all sorts of things like that. And it's really worked with the campuses we worked on. And then we start the outreach side. At the outreach side, what we've done so far is we go in the middle of campus, we set up a platform, and we kind of set up an outreach style. We'll be preaching and sing a couple songs, and just kind of like almost like a little service on campus right in the middle. And we've had over 200 students come out to a couple of these outreach events, and many people get saved just being on the middle of campus. And the whole goal is to start an organization on campus. When you start an organization on campus, that gives you the access to classrooms, to freshman tables. So when the freshmen come in their first day of school, you can have a table set up with your ministry there, with Known Campus Ministry, and you could be talking to these freshmen, getting connected. And I think one of the most vital times to reach college students is in their freshman and sophomore year, because that's when they're still trying to figure out kind of who they're going to be, the direction they want to go. Once you get to a senior, they're kind of thinking about the next step of life. But if you reach them while they're younger, I think there's a big benefit into that. But basically what we do is we help the church in whatever needs they need. We help them get connected, answer questions. I'm on campus helping them on that aspect of setting up the Bible study, starting outreach stuff. And I remember pre-COVID, I was talking to, while I was in college still, I was talking to over 200 college students a week on 3 different colleges. And there's the harvest is plenteous. There's lots of students on these campuses, and there's so many people searching. And that's my whole goal in this ministry, is to help local independent Baptist churches get connected and teach them how they can get on campuses, help them start their Bible studies, help them take the next steps, and help them grow it towards sustainable for the semesters and the years to come.
That's great. And, my mind is just thinking about just the enormous opportunity. And what I would say to those pastors and even those others that are listening, one, I think you should look at your area, and if you have local college campuses surrounding you, think about how you can engage that college campus. Reach out to Zach, and he'll be glad to help you, give you some ideas. I would also say, if you have young people in your church that go to a local college, what a great opportunity to kind of build upon that and be able to reach. And I will tell you, my own experience has been the young people in our own church. They're interested in trying to reach their peers with the gospel. And so my charge to you is I would encourage every local independent Baptist church to adopt a college campus in their community, and partner with Known Campus Ministries and see where the Lord leads that. My commitment has been that as new churches endeavor to reach local college campuses, the time will come when you need to be able to help transport those folks, and Bust Them In is committed to helping new independent Baptist churches with their bus ministries, and to be able to reach college campuses is vital. In fact, the local independent Baptist church, Zach, as you and I have talked, they got to a point where they needed a bus. So talk to us, because I think this will give some insight to folks. Let the folks know how many folks generally are coming. I know we're talking about pre-COVID and all that, but talk to us about how many college kids were coming to the church as a result of Known Campus Ministries efforts.
Definitely. The one college that we saw a lot of fruit was at St. Francis University. There was a independent Baptist church right down the road, about 5 minutes away. And the pastor took over that church, and there was only 12 members, and he began to kind of just start. He was there for about 2 years, and then he ended up getting connected to the college a little bit, being able to do some different outreach stuff on campus. And slowly but surely, the college kids started coming to church, and he had over 50 college students coming to his church just from a Catholic campus. Think about that. These students that go to a Catholic university were coming to an independent Baptist church. And it's amazing to see how God worked in that. But now we are able to partner with Bust Them In. Bust Them In was able to help this church get a bus so they can also reach the kids in their community, but they can also get on campus and pick up more students. I think Pastor Tyson just mentioned it, that these young Christians are on campus. They want to reach their friends. We had a young man that got saved, and he recently got saved, and then within a week or two, he was already trying to get his friends to get involved and trying to witness to his friends. And this is a perfect opportunity with Bus Them In to get the bus on campus, because not everyone has the option of driving themselves. International students don't always have rides. And this is just a perfect opportunity to pull up on campus. They see a church bus with your church name on it. They start to be familiarized. Hey, there's this church in the area. They're on our campus. They're picking up students. I see my friend goes there. And next thing you know, a friend goes, and then it grows from there. And I just think that perfect example of how that one church grew from 12 people and they began to grow up. But then once they started picking up the college kids and started to reach out to those college students, their church, 40, 50 of those members or church people came from that college campus.
Man, what an amazing opportunity. What do all churches look for? They're looking for youth. They're looking for energy and zeal and young people. And here's a great opportunity for you to reach your college campuses, reach the lost for Christ, disciple a generation. And shame on us if we fail and then put expectations on this generation that somehow they need to figure it out themselves. The gospel, the glorious gospel, has been handed to us. And so, Zach, as we close out, just share how pastors can engage Known Campus Ministries, how they can reach you. Let me say to all of you that are listening, I resoundingly endorse Known Campus Ministry. Zach does a tremendous job. He's preached for us many times. He's a great speaker. The Lord's hand has been on him. He is dynamic in that way. And I will tell you, you will be blessed to have him. But share with us how they can reach you and how they can get engaged with Known Campus Ministries.
Thank you for having me on today. I just want to share this one last thought before I give the information out. I think of Psalm 78, and Asaph is writing, and he's talking about the generation to come, that they have to make known the gospel to them or make known what God has done for them so they don't forget. Don't give up on this generation of college students. We can look at this generation and we can see a lot of craziness. You see a lot of people going the opposite way of what the Bible says to do. But don't give up on this generation, because the next generation can shape a society. We can reach this generation of young people. We can change the course of our nation. We can change the course of so many people's lives and families' lives. We just make the gospel known to them on these campuses. And I want to give this one example. There's a young man. We actually started a Bible study at Mount Aloysius College, which is a Catholic college. Just recently started it. And then we were trying to grow it, and we actually had 30 people come into our Bible study weekly on I think a Tuesday night. And a young man started coming. We just started the Bible study about 4 weeks in. He started coming because one of his friends invited him. Well, he actually just recently got in a car wreck, and he said, you know what, I want to figure out what faith is. I want to figure out what Christianity is. But the problem was he's on a Catholic campus. So he'd been doing YouTube searches and stuff, but he was looking for a ministry to get involved with on this campus. And I began to think, what if our ministry wasn't there? But I got the opportunity to talk to this young man. And this young man, I talked to him, witnessed to him, and after a couple of weeks, he got saved. He accepted Christ as his Savior. But what if our ministry wasn't there? Who would have reached them?
Amen.
Who would have reached them? He would have probably got involved in a Catholic Bible study where he'd have been stuck in works and sacraments and doing all these things trying to earn his salvation. Think about this. The devil was doing his best to reach these students also. He's doing everything in his power to stop them from coming to church, stop them from coming to a good Bible study, doing everything in his power to blind them and to keep them away from the gospel of Christ. And there's so many, I can go down a list of people, just testimony after testimony about people's lives have been changed just because Bible study is being on campus. There's so many people searching. Don't give up on this generation, because there's so many people like that young man that are searching for answers. But will we be there to give them the answer, or are we going to let the devil take them and blind them?
Yeah.
How you can reach me? We have our website, knowncampisministries.com. We have a lot of our information on there. We have our YouTube page connected on there. You want to kind of check out what we've been doing. with Bible studies, outreaches, and see how those things work. You can also contact me at knowncampusministries@gmail.com. That's probably the easiest way to get in contact with me. I would love to be able to help in any way. Maybe it's just a small question. Maybe you just have, you want to start planning for the aspect of reaching your college. I would love to be able to visit your college with you, be able to kind of direct you on those steps. My ministry is here to help local independent Baptist church, whatever campus they want to reach. My goal is there to help them and put them in the best possible situation to help them be on campus and help them to grow Bible studies and grow that ministry. Again, you can contact me at knowncampusministries@gmail.com. Thank you, Pastor Tyson.
Amen. Zach, thank you for joining us today. And as they have said, darker the night, the brighter the light. And what a blessing to be able to hear what God has already done through Known Campus Ministries, but what a great future is ahead. And I look forward to hearing of the dozens of campuses that have ministries involved, and churches involved, and buses running into college campuses, picking up folks and bringing them to church. As we close, let me encourage you to follow and subscribe to this channel so you get notifications of the next episode of the Bust Them In podcast. Please also follow our Twitter page at Bust Them In. And if you need to reach me, you could reach me at bustthemin@gmail.com. And we're thankful for your support. We're thankful for what God is doing in the bus ministry. I see a resurgence of interest and desire regarding the bus ministry. And what a great compliment to the bus ministry in Known Campus Ministries. And I hope you'll consider reaching out to Zach and having him speak at your church and presenting the ministry. I think it's well worth your time. God bless you, and we'll talk to you very soon.